The first TOEFL rating secret you should know about is that you want to try to write longer sentences. Now, why is that? Well, because ETS in their grading rubric for the academic discussion even say they're looking for an effective use of a variety of syntactic structures. Basically, that means they're looking for different types of sentences. And Michael Goodine over at Test Resources even ran some experiments and found a couple different types of sentences with a conjunction do help improve your score. So I want to go through a couple of simple examples with you that I think will be familiar. And what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite a couple of sentences from this student's essay and help him get a better score. Now, there are a lot of problems with this essay. You'll notice some different, spelling mistakes and grammar mistakes, but really what we're focused on is trying to make his sentences a bit longer. Bring a couple sentences together. So let's take these first two here. Instead of saying, I totally agree with the statement made by Sam, I strongly believe. Let's change it up a little bit because a lot of these sentences follow a very similar structure. They don't have a variety of structures. We want more variety. So one way we can do that is we can combine two sentences with the word because. I totally agree with the statement made by Sam because. Okay, so this is showing the cause of something, why something happens. As, since, so that, these are different cause conjunctions. We can also do it here as well. Firstly, I find myself, I think he means distracted, when I'm doing homework with music. I tend to pay more attention in the lyrics of the song than the homework. So let's try to combine these two. Firstly, I find myself distracted when I'm doing homework since I tend to pay more attention to the lyrics of the song. So showing why you get distracted. So we can bring these two sentences together, making the sentence a little longer. You can also do this with a simple and, right? I think you guys know this example here. And as well as, not only, but also. So these are different kind of structures that you can use to help you expand your sentences. Let's look at this other example here. Secondly, focus in just one task can allow you to do better work without distractions, mistakes that can happen. So you see how he has kind of ideas that are similar, and we can combine these sentences together. And as a result, you can earn a higher grade in school, showing the effect of something. Therefore, consequently, as a result. This doesn't always work. There are sentences that, they shouldn't be combined. But we're just showing some simple ways of bringing sentences together. And here are some other contrasting conjunctions as well. But, however, and so on. Okay? You could also use conditional sentences, but I'm not going to talk about that here because that's a kind of separate lecture. But those are just some easy, simple ways bringing two sentences together to make your sentences a bit longer. The second secret you should know is that typos are a big deal. And so what do I mean by typos? Well, first of all, if you look at the grading criteria, this is a bit older, but it's probably similar to how it's still rated. This is again from TOEFL Resources. That mechanics is 10% of your score. Now, so what is mechanics? So these are spelling mistakes, capitalization mistakes, and you notice these things, spacing mistakes, you notice these when you have spell check on, right? When you have spell check, everything is underlined, so it's pretty simple to find. But when you don't have spell check, it becomes a lot harder. And on the test, there's no spell check, right? So these are some different, these are some different ways to edit. So it's very important to give yourself time after you write your essay to check your essay for spelling errors, capitalization and spacing mistakes. Maybe your introduction is weak. Maybe you have some weaknesses like articles, and then you just want to check your grammar in general. These first two are going to be the most helpful. That's the first thing you do, is check your spelling and check your capitalization and spacing. Those are going to be the easiest things to fix when it comes to your formatting. So what I want to do here is that I want to leave this here. You can pause this right now and see if you could find all the mistakes. I'm going to go to the next slide and show you the mistakes. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, pause the video now if you want to practice, but let's go to the next slide. And as you can see, there's no comma where it should be. There's no space here. This Manhattan should be capitalized, tyrant should be lowercase. This is the first word of a new sentence, so that should be capital H. Good point needs a space. Here needs a period. So these are all really common mistakes, and they happen a lot, especially on test day, because you're in a hurry and it's stressful and you're nervous. So you want to make sure you have some time to edit. Here are the top 7 formatting mistakes I see. No comma, no space after a punctuation, you don't capitalize the first letter, proper nouns like New York City or Harvard University are not capitalized, you forget a space between words, you're missing a period or a comma, and there's no space between paragraphs. This one actually, number 7, don't worry about. But the first 6 are the most important. Now, I'm going to go to the next secret, but before I do, another open secret is that we have TOEFL rating group classes at TST Prep. This is ideal if you taken the test before and didn't get your writing score and you need some teacher support. This includes essay evaluations, you have classes with a teacher, you work in a small group of other students who are at the same level as you, and you can work together to get the score that you need and learn from each other. You also get a ton of practice tests, and also practice questions to help out. So check that out, our writing group classes. This price is only for the YouTube audience, so I'll put a link in the description to that page so you can make sure you get this price. All right, but let me go with the third secret, which is a template helps your score a lot. Now, the reason why this, I'm sure most of you guys know about templates, but I don't know if everybody really understands why they're so helpful. So the reason why is because a big part of your score is organization and development. These two categories, you know, everything is connected to templates, but these two especially connect to your template. If you look at the first task 1 template here, every single paragraph multiple sentences start with a template. This organizes your response. It also reduces the number of your mistakes. If you remember the template, you don't have to worry about forgetting a comma. You know that you need a comma here and here, right? So that's really helpful. Even in the academic discussion, it's shorter. There's not as much of a template, but it still helps you start your response, helps you know where to put a comma, helps you go from one point to the next. Another big way that templates help you is that they help you simplify your verb tenses. For the task number 1, the integrated task, you really only need simple present and simple past. Sometimes you'll need some other tenses, but really those are the only 2 you need. If you don't follow a template, you might be making mistakes you don't have to. This is present progressive. You're probably not going to use present progressive in your TOEFL writing essays. You use present tense instead. An easy mistake to avoid if you just knew about templates. The same for task number 2. Simple present, simple past, present perfect. This student doesn't know this. So he has a bunch of different examples. It's all over the place. He has present, future, present progressive, present, conditionals. I mean, it's just all over the place. Passive voice. So, you know, these aren't all mistakes, but it's just very messy. And these are easy mistakes to avoid if you just know the template and you know that you just need present perfect, simple present, past, or this is present perfect or past. That's it. That's all you need. I have a conditional sentence here, but you don't need that. You can. It'll help your score, but it's not necessary. If you need more help with the templates, check out our writing guide. It's free. I'll put a link in the description. It's a little ebook, and it's for anybody who's preparing for the test. I really recommend this and the speaking guide. I mean, these are very helpful free resources. So check that out. All right. The next secret is that I think you should learn how to rewrite the subject. Now, this is a weird one because it's not something I hear many people talk about, but it's something that comes up because, you know, in the English language, every sentence has a subject. You know, there's subject, verb, object, right? So if lions are big, lions are predators, lions live in groups. So every sentence needs a subject. Not every language is like this. Japanese, you don't need a subject in every sentence. And one of the reasons is because you don't kind of need it. You know, after I say lions are big, you probably know what I'm talking about after this. But in English, you do. In English writing, you need a subject after every single, you need a subject in every sentence. And this can get really boring. Your writing could get boring very easily. Now, how do you fix it? Well, you probably already know that you want to use a pronoun referent like they. So like, lions are big, they are predators, okay? But you can go one step further and say a demonstrative adjective noun. These giant cats. Demonstrative is this, that, these, those, okay? And I'll give you more examples. Books, they, these crucial resources. Ricardo, he, that friendly teacher. Working out, it, that annoying routine. Statues, they, these stone monuments. Statistics, it, that challenging class. So adjective, noun, demonstrative. These are different ways of rewriting the subject. I find students don't do this very well. So practice that. It'll help not only with your writing, but it'll also help in your reading and listening and speaking. You're going to be able to follow reading more because you know this. Because this is how the reading and listening are structured. They, besides just rewriting the subject, they also can make it more specific. So I'll show you an example. This whole paragraph is about organizational psychology. The next sentence says it, which is organizational psychology. Academic fields, another way to say organizational psychology, like this academic field. We don't have the demonstrative, but demonstrative adjective noun. And then make it more specific by talking about leading organizational psychologists. So talk about the subject and then talk about the people in the subject. So that's another way to change the subject in each sentence. Something to keep in mind because a lot of people just say the same word over and over again. The last secret is that word count is not everything. So a big kind of tip that I give, that a lot of teachers give, is that you want to write more. You want to write as much as possible when you're doing your essays. The TOEFL says for integrated, you should write 150 to 225 words. For the academic discussion, you should write at least 100 words. Well, I usually say write 250 words for the first integrated task and 120 words for the writing for academic discussion. Now, again, this is because you can show more vocabulary, you can show more grammar, you can show that you can process information, you can write more in less time. But it can hurt your score if you're making a lot of mistakes. So only write a lot of words if you're not making a lot of mistakes. You can also score very high with what they recommend, 200 words or 100 words. This is an example of a 49-word response from Michael Goodine from Test Resources. He put it in the ETS E-Rater and got a score of 4 out of 5, which is a very good score. Now, of course, there's a human rater as well, so the human rater might see this and think it's not great, but it's a very short response that you wouldn't expect to score so high. So word count is not everything. If you have a lot of mistakes, a lot of typos, it's going to hurt your score. So keep that in mind. Make sure you download this guide. Again, it's free. I'll put a link in the description. And those are the 5 TOEFL writing secrets. I hope you found this helpful. And now it's time to practice. Check out this video here where you can actually use some of the things that you learned here to practice the TOEFL writing. All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.